Hello and welcome to the monthly Q&A. If you'd like to get your question answered in a Q&A like this one, then head on over to ars.fm/sharmalade and I will do my best to answer your question as long as it's not too rude. Right, where's my questions? Where's my questions gone? Question number one, what do you think about? What don't I think about? Everything. I think I'm a deep thinker. I think about a lot of things. I think about the future, and not like my future, I think about the future in general, like what's going to happen to the planet. I feel like my prediction for the future is we are going to inhabit other planets because the Earth will not be sustainable, and it's just not going to be, a practical option anymore to live on Earth. So I think we're going to go and live on other planets, and then when we explore other planets, that's when I think the scientists will start looking into extending life expectancies to like way older, because right now like we need a turnover. We need to have this turnover, like that the life expectancy is good for this planet, because otherwise there'd be way too many people. It'd be like an ant colony. We'd be like walking over each other and stuff. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. That's my prediction for the future. What was the question? What do I think about? See, I think about weird stuff. What was the last dream you had? Oh, this is funny but not. It's ironic. It's ironically funny. So last night I dreamt that I was a diabetic, and I dreamt I was having a hypo. So basically a hypo is when your blood sugars get really, really low and you have to go and eat fast acting like sugar, glucose, and that you need to get it in quick. And so I was having this dream that my watch, I dreamt that my watch was monitoring my blood sugar levels. It's not. And it on the face of my watch, it just said bad. And in my dream, I was desperately running somewhere to try and get sugar. I didn't have anything on me, and I was like running towards. I feel like I was running towards Stormwind. Okay, the Alliance city in World of Warcraft. Don't know why I was running towards Stormwind, and I was looking for sugar. And then when I woke up, my partner told me, my husband, I keep calling him my partner still because we've only been married not that long. My husband told me that he had 2 hypos in the night, and it was quite bad. So I need to talk to him about that really, because that's quite concerning. 2 hypos in the night, he must be shattered today. He's gone into the office today. He does 2 days in the office now, and he works from home the rest of the time. So sucks that today he had to go into the office. I bet he's shattered. But we've also got this little song that we sing about hypos in the night, and it goes, hypos in the night, my sugar's so low, hypos in the night, it's going so low, So anyway. Do you buy supermarket own brand products? Yeah, of course. Like, I'm always looking for things like condiments. Condiments I generally want to get as supermarket own brand, because I don't know what is going on with the price of condiments lately, but something's happening. I mean, the cost of living is meant to be going up, but why does that apply to condiments? And even shop own brand condiments are really expensive now. I remember when you could get like a little squirty mayo for like 59p, and that's like the own brand of the shop. Now it's over £1. It's crazy. Like, how much do I want that condiment? What is your very definition of, love? My definition of love is, well, I guess it's probably different for everybody, but for me, when I first met Ian, I actually knew straight off the bat. And it was weird because I was living in the countryside at the time, and I was having a really rough time, and I just wasn't getting on, and I didn't like my job, and I missed my friends back home. And one of my friends from back home invited me to come back to hang out at their house and hang out with their friends. So I was like, oh, that sounds really good. I feel like I need to get back to my roots. So I went, and amongst my friend's friends was Ian. And I remember when I saw him, and I think we shook hands. And I remember thinking, not thinking, but feeling this like connection straight off the bat. And we met up a lot, and we just had such a synergy. We had not even like so much in common. It was more like our souls had a lot in common. They just spoke to each other, and it was comfortable, and it felt right. And I remember when I was going home, it was about an hour away from where he lived. When I was going home, I remember standing on the front door of my mum's house where I was staying for the visit, and Ian was stood with me, and I remember looking at the sky behind him, and it was like it was kind of, the sun was setting, and it was kind of red and blue, and I remember looking at Ian and just saying, this doesn't feel right. Leaving you right now does not feel right. It feels completely wrong. So I think for me, love is just that connection of souls, really. And that is for me what love is. I just feel like it doesn't matter how much we get on each other's nerves. Like, we don't even argue. Like, we have stupid arguments where it will be so stupid. Like, I can't even remember the last argument we had, because we just don't really. And if we do, it's normally just me nagging him about something, and then he's like, oh, okay. But love for me is that connection of the soul. What's your favourite perfume aftershave? So, my favourite perfume was this brand called Nest, I think, and the perfume was called Midnight. And I remember I got a sample of it in a magazine years and years and years ago, like maybe 10 years ago, and I remember smelling it and thinking, oh my god, that is such a gorgeous scent. It's me. I love that scent. It had like a, I don't know, like a woodsy kind of, it wasn't so much floral, it was more like a spice or something. It was really, really beautiful. And so I looked it up to see how much it was to buy, and it was like it was over £100 for this perfume. Bearing in mind I'm a 90s child, so I grew up with things like, remember Impulse, like 99p Impulse, all the different scents. It's like the Lynx for women. And I always wanted this Midnight perfume from Nest, and I never got it, and I kind of hinted it in a few times if you would get it for me, but I mean, I can't justify that amount of money on a perfume. Anyway, it got discontinued, so now I can't even get it, and I wouldn't know what there's no replacement for it, so I don't know if the other perfumes on the Nest website are going to be similar in scent, and I don't want to risk spending like £100 on something that I might not like the sniff of. Any advice for love? Oh, well, this ties into what is your very definition of love. Love is love, and it comes in all different shapes and sizes and fits, and you just gotta find what you connect to. Like I was saying before, like I connected, like Ian's soul connected to my soul, and I think you just need to, you'll just find it. You'll find it somewhere. It will just happen, and you'll feel this connection, and you'll feel the love. What scares you the most? And that is from Joe Edward Mason. It used to be zombies, but I don't know how. I've kind of got over that. The thing that scares me the most is the end of the world. Like I used to have recurring nightmares of being in a lift, an elevator, and it would drop. That was my biggest fear. Like, I used to have nightmares about it. And then I went on Tower of Terror in Florida. Is it Universal Studios? And ever since then, like, I remember getting on that ride and just thinking, what am I doing? This is my worst nightmare. I literally have nightmares about this. And I remember screaming so loud. There's a picture of me with my niece Maisie, and I'm screaming. It's like just shot in the moment of me screaming and Maisie with her hand over her ear looking completely pained, because I was wailing on that ride. But then ever since I did it, I didn't have the nightmare anymore, but now I have this recurring nightmare of the end of the world, and it's always really awful. And a lot of the times it is the planet Earth, falling out of the sky. Now, I don't want to trigger anybody, I don't want to trigger anyone here, but there is this weird thing in me that worries that the Earth is going to suddenly fall out of the sky and we're going to feel it and it's going to be weird. And apparently, I googled it, right? Googled it. And it's a thing. Apparently there's a phobia. Let me Google it. Fear of planet falling out of the sky. It's called casadastrophobia, guys. It's a real thing. I have got casadastrophobia. Casadastrophobia, or the fear of falling into the sky, is less common. Wait, not really falling into the sky? Is less common than other types of fears, but it is a valid phobia. I mean, I'm not really, I guess it is falling into the sky, isn't it? But the whole Earth, like, and gravity just, but the gravity's still there, so you're still on the Earth and you can literally feel it falling through the universe. Do you easily fall in love? I do with animals. I'm such a huge animal lover. I just, you know, like when you go on dog walks and you see other people's dogs and it's like, oh, I love it. I love your dog. I love everyone's dog. What are the first things you notice when you meet someone? I guess I read into their like levels of comfortability quite a lot, and I can generally tell if someone's feeling a bit uncomfortable, and I find that quite I feel like when someone's uncomfortable, I feel like I want to be close to them, and that's kind of the first thing that I'll notice about someone. And if I can tell that they're uncomfortable, I want to like make them feel good. My watch is telling me to stand up. Can you believe it? It's so rude. Who gets more online abuse, males or females, youngsters or older people? I have no idea. I'm quite fortunate with my community here. Like, I feel like everyone is really cool, and I have been really lucky in the sense that I've never really experienced much online like harassment or bullying or anything. Like, I have had my fair teaspoon of weird stuff happen to me online that I have to shut down pretty quickly. But I think, I mean, I wouldn't know. I see a lot of, I read and I see a lot of stories about females with like stalkers and over friendly viewers and stuff, but I feel like guys can get it just as much with like this whole cancel culture, and everyone's in the firing line. I feel like everyone's in the firing line, and I really wouldn't know who gets more abuse. I'd have to like go and research it. If you could time travel, which era, past or future, would you visit first? Oh, that's so tough. I can't remember if it was it this Q&A that I answered about the ability to explore everywhere. I've just recorded 2 Q&As back to back, so I can't remember if I just answered that question in this one. But I'd love to go to the future to see if my prediction is true about us inhabiting other planets and then scientists extending the life expectancy. But then I also do want to go back to like the 40s maybe, so that I can just get involved in the attire. But the only thing that I would hate about going back in time is, you know, like if you fell in love and your wife or your husband had to go off and do something, you can't contact them, and you don't know when they're coming back. They're going by horse, and anything could happen. And there's no way of knowing. Like in these dramas that I've watched in the past where like the woman falls in love with the guy and then she wakes up the next morning and he's not there, and she says to the maid like, where's he gone? And they're like, oh, he's gone off. He's gone off, mate. He's gone off doing stuff with another count in, you know, Essexshire or something. And you're kind of left there thinking, okay, great, well, when's he coming back then? Have I got to do dinner? I don't know where he's at. I would hate that. I would absolutely hate that. And also, like, when people fell in love and went their separate ways, how did they find each other again? You can't just, like, text each other and say where you at. How would you ever find each other again? So that is it for this month's Q&A. If you'd like to get your question answered in a Q&A like is this fun, then head on over to r.fm/Sharmalade and I will do my best to answer your question. Have a wonderful week, everybody, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.